First of all, I sincerely want to apologize. I really don't know what is up with my PS4 lately, but yeah, but what's up, Blue Hedgehog Nation? This is PCSRA Blue Hedgehog 26, aka Mr. Daniel Willis. Hopefully, everybody's doing well today because I'm not doing well right now because I need to have a discussion with you guys about a certain topic that needs to be discussed in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, well, welcome to this Monday's edition of PCSRA Weekly. This is like the fifth or sixth try I've had to redo this damn stream. So yeah, take note of the description before you start commenting in the chat. That way you guys understand the rules and you make my life easy and all that shit like that. Let me get to actually no, let me direct message um share to and our friends. Okay. So there's a link for this stream. I'll just put this on Facebook and shit like that. Team Hedgehog chat. I need to send that to you guys. I'll put this in. I'll send this to Zachary. Get you guys ready. So anyway, yeah. So today's episode of PCSRA Weekly, which I finally got a agenda written down, so that's good news there. So the agenda for today, and of course this will be what I'll do for now on, is 4 topics, 4 things we'll discuss. Um, First one, we're going to recap the Azerbaijan Grand Prix along with the Talladega weekend. We'll go through the top story news, including a news article that just came out just seconds ago. We'll see news and notes and see if there's any news or notes around the PCSRA organization, which I highly doubt it. Figures. Hi, Taylor. And then we'll look ahead to Kansas. If there's any other race I forgot, please let me know in the chat. So, yeah. Thank goodness I have an agenda. Thank goodness. God bless the agenda. Hi, Kyle Langland. So, all right. So let's start off this Monday's edition of PCSRA Weekly, even though it's like an hour plus late. They're going to Dover next, then Kansas. I don't know if there's any other races besides NASCAR this weekend that's happening. I haven't checked, so so yeah. Anyway, first let's recap as I'm gonna write something else down. When I do my picks, I'm gonna write down the picks. That way it's in order. So while I'm doing that, recapping the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Started off crazy. And how am I? Well, besides having a rough weekend at work, I'm as far as that's concerned. So I'm really not doing well, and I'm gonna explain why. I'll explain after I'm done with the show. And again, this has nothing to do with you guys. It's just an issue at work I want to address. All right. So, recapping Azerbaijan first. I'll go Azerbaijan, then I'll start the Talladega stream. Not reactions, recaps. God, I can't talk. Anyway, recapping Azerbaijan. First off, started off crazy with the Ferraris getting together, Kimi Raikkonen and Esteban Ocon going into turn 3 on the first lap, triggered the safety car, which we went back racing. it was kind of getting a bit boring until like 10 to go when um, Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen got together. I think this. I don't know what I'm drinking. I think it's either a root beer or a Coke. And no, I didn't share with you, Taylor. Oh, Kyle, here's your Mountain Dew Baja Blast Teal Slushy. Before I forget. Um, but anyway, back to what I was saying. The collision between Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen, which really, you're welcome, which really was one of those incidents we saw coming. It brought out the safety car, which threw a huge monkey wrench. Then under the safety car, figures. Then under the safety car, something bizarre happened. Roman Grosjean, warming up his tires, lost control and went in the wall, which was an extended safety car as a result. And they also had to send the medical car. That's something NASCAR kept stealing from F1 is the medical vehicle, GG NASCAR. We finally got back to green with less than 5 laps to go. Valtteri Bottas was looking to get his first win of the season. Right? Wrong. He runs over debris on the front straightaway. You're having Mountain Dew Ice, and no, you didn't share. Good for you, Taylor. Kyle. Wow. Taylor says gonna say his favorite word figures. But anyway, it was crazy. But at the end of the day, however, Lewis Hamilton wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which that is called a cluster of a race. Even though it had 2 safety cars, the finish was a little more entertaining than it was in NASCAR, which I'll get to that in a second. It was really a okay race. Besides the wrecks, it was crazy to see that race be a factor, as usual. But congratulations, Lewis Hamilton. Kimmy got second, and I believe one of the force in Nico Hulkenberg got the final got rounded out the podium. Sebastian finished fourth. Wow. Could you imagine Force India being on the podium at Baku? I didn't predict that before the weekend, so good God. Good job to them. So, yeah. So that's it for the F1 side, because F1 is going to be off, is off next weekend, so there won't be a race until in 2 weeks at Barcelona, at Circuit de Catalunya, so yeah. Recapping Talladega. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one. Me doing the Talladega deal. Talladega was a weekend, I'm gonna say. Other than I like the Cup drivers taking over the broadcast, which is exciting. Xfinity, it was a couple of mixed crashes, but kind of a boring race if you ask me. Just wasn't a lot of fun if you ask me as a fan, even though I didn't watch neither race, even because I had to go to work because of the stupid movie that's been going on lately. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, the driver I picked to stay away from won, Spencer Gallagher, which that was the last thing I needed to have happen was Spencer Gallagher winning an Xfinity race, which I'm not happy with. I'm still not happy with him, especially with what he did last year to Joey Gay. So really was disappointed with that finish. The Cup race, however, was worse than the Xfinity race. Not because of the fact that we had 2 big ones and almost a near flip, but the finish was disappointing as usual. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, little girl who needed makeup all over them bodies won. A.K. Joey Logano. Yeah, you're surprised Spencer Gallagher won at Talladega. Yeah. So, But yeah, it was. So, um, you know, take yeah, Logano equals little girl. Well, you know where I got that from, Taylor, is from Elijah. Elijah doesn't mind me if I say little girl because Joey Logano is a little girl who needs their makeup. So yeah, that Talladega was kind of disappointing if you ask me. Especially, yes, I understand it caters to the underdogs that are not doing well in the points, but I just feel like it was not a good finish. And I forgot to mention Elliott Sadler, who was the highest of the Dash for Cash, won the 100 grand. So congratulations to him on that. Let's go to the top story news. This was a shocker, I heard. Sources saying Matt Kenseth would be going full time in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series in 2019 for Roush Fenway Racing. Am I surprised about that? Not really. Because, now with the 6 car now eliminated from having any hope of making the playoffs, even if they get a win, they're not going to make the top 30 in points, and their win will definitely more than likely not count towards a spot in the playoffs. So that's gonna suck. So their only hope is Stenhouse. But I seriously doubt Stenhouse will probably win a race, other than possibly, maybe Daytona, but that's pretty much it. So it looks like Roush will more than likely miss the playoffs, so that really sucks as far as that's concerned. So yeah. So second top story news. This came just seconds ago. IMSA and NBC Sports signed a 6-year agreement to broadcast the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Challenge starting in 2019. That right there is a shocker because I was not expecting this happening, and this, in fact, nobody saw this coming completely. So, you know, I just don't know what's wrong with Fox with all the stuff that's been going on. Either they got the worst crew in the world or something's up, but regardless of the fact, I just think it's never good to hear that Fox is losing IMSA after this year. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. The other announcement is NASCAR and ARCA are joining forces, are merging in 2020. So that's a big surprise there. NASCAR and ARCA fans, let me know what you think about that merge in the comment section down below. Do you think this merge is going to be a successful? Do you think it's going to be the greatest merge ever? Or do you think it's going to be a disaster? Now, what's interesting about this news article I'm talking about is the fact this is the same person, which is France, the last name, Mr. France, who made this happen. He's the same person that made this happen for between the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series and the American Le Mans Series, and it's now called IMSA. And look what it did for the fans who are very happy about it. So yeah. So NASCAR and ARCA fans, let me know what you think about that in the comments section down below about that merge. IMSA fans, let me know what you think about the NBC, with NBC joining aboard starting 2019. Let me know what you guys think about all of that in the comment section down below. On to news and notes. Right now, we don't have any news or notes as far as new paint schemes, so that's currently on hold. I don't know when we will be back up and running as far as PCSRA stuff is concerned. Probably either around May or June, because it's like the summertime. We always get stuff done during the summertime. So we'll just keep you guys informed on when that will be the case so far. So with that all said, let's look ahead to Dover. And if there's any other series that's racing this weekend, you guys need to let me know in the chat right now. So, by the way, if you guys are enjoying this stream, please remember to give this video a like. Do you think it was the right move for Ford? Yeah, I think so, because what's interesting about the Ford deal is that, we've seen it with Chevy Camaro, with the Camaros, struggling, but it's their first year, excuse me. It's their first year that they're in NASCAR. So it's going to take them a while to get used to the Camaro. It's called developing more. It's going to be the same way for the Ford Mustang, to take a while and get used to it going into next season. So that's going to be my point of view on that. So anyway, looking ahead to Dover International Speedway, excuse me. That yawn there. Man. Okay. Dover is the Monster Mile, and it can eat up race cars for breakfast. And I think we're going to definitely see one of those Wreckfest races that we're going to see in that race weekend. So it will be very interesting. And I think Cup drivers are returning in that race, since that's not a Dash for Cash. I don't know if it is another Dash for Cash race or not. I have not looked at the schedule, but anyway, nevertheless, um, it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work, and we'll just have to wait and see how Dover is going to be. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to make my picks. By the way, I'm also going to look ahead to the Spanish Grand Prix, and I'll explain why I'm going to say that in a second. So that way I can get my picks for next weekend all done, because there's going to be some announcement that's going to be coming out. So anyway, starting with Dover, let's get back to the Dover situation before I start looking ahead to that, and then I'll explain the situation. So anyway, driver to win the Truck Series race at Dover. There was a driver that was making their debut. We'll talk about more of that on the Interloy podcast. Driver to win, I'm going to say. Driver to win, I'm going to say Noah Gragson. I think Noah Gregson's going to have a good race. I think he's going to be smart and have a good, just stay out of trouble and not get involved in a wreck, and I think he'll go on to win that race. Driver to stay away from, I'm going to have to say stay away. I'll say stay away from Matt Crafton as far as the Dover race. Dark horse, I'm going to say Jordan Anderson, because I'm very surprised with him. He's not been involved in one incident, even though he did have a few minor bumps on the truck at a. Yes, I will PM you the entry list on Hangouts. Jordan Anderson's a dark horse because, Jordan Anderson's been a fantastic driver. He's been running very well in the points. And that really surprises you. He might complete a whole season in the Truck Series. That really surprises me, if you ask me. So, Xfinity, driver to win. I'm gonna say Brandon Jones, because the 19 has had good success at Dover. Daniel Suarez, I remember, won at Dover that got him into the next round of the playoffs. So Brandon Jones, I think he's going to get his first win. He is the driver to win. Driver to stay away from, of course, Spencer Gallagher, because he is nothing but a stupid moron, and I'm still going to keep him as the driver to stay away from. Dark horse, I'm going to take Ryan Sieg as my dark horse. Ryan Sieg, he had a very good run, top 10 at Talladega, which that's a whole huge amount of money for his own team, despite the little funding they have, and that really changed their whole team. So I really think he's going to be definitely the dark horse. For the Cup Series, driver to win, I'm going to say Kyle Busch, because Kyle Busch is a driver, that stole the win from Chase Elliott last year when Elliott got held up by Ryan Newman. So I think Kyle Busch might win 4 of the last 5. Speaking of Ryan Newman, he's my driver to stay away from, because yes, he's won Dover before, but lately the finishes hasn't shown. He hasn't shown good results lately in the last few visits at Dover. And I'm going to say Jimmy Johnson is the dark horse, because he's won Dover more times than any active driver to date at the Monster Miles. So that's my dark horse. Now, as I said that I'm going to also look ahead to, I think it's Kansas we're going to next week. Yes, I'm going to also look ahead to Kansas. Here's why. There's not going to be a weekly show next week because the PCSRA comrades in all four series will be heading to Stillwater for a special Olympics that's going to be starting up next week. So there will not be a weekly show next week because of that. There will be a weekly show in 2 weeks for all that reason. So yeah. But anyway, getting back to the point, Kansas, ever since the repave, it's been kind of a wreck fest, if you ask me. Um, I think, with what we've seen last year, when or in 2016 when William Byron won the race. He ended up almost winning the title but got eliminated. I think we might see the same thing as far as going into that race weekend, with the fact that it's going to be interesting how the truck race and the Cup Series is going to run at. So, Indianapolis Grand Prix, really interesting to see how that's going to take part as far as that's concerned. Um, also, we're going to see how it goes. So, yeah. And also the Spanish Grand Prix, which is not this weekend, but next. I think it'll be interesting to see how that's going to turn out as far as that stuff is concerned. So, that will be interesting. So let's make more picks. This time for Kansas, since I'm going to go ahead, get ahead. And like I said, there will not be a show next week. There will be a show in 2 weeks. So, yeah. I better not quit picking my nose. Well, I get to pick Zachary Taylor's nose because Zachary Taylor's a goofball. Yeah. Anyway, driver to win the truck race for Kansas. I'm going to say Ben Rhodes is the driver to win. He nearly won this race 2 years ago, but took out Johnny Sauter. I think Ben Rhodes will be the driver to win. Johnny Sauter's the driver to stay away from because he's not, come again. I don't think Johnny Sauter is going to have a good race there. And, Kansas is never kind to him as far as that's concerned. So, yeah. Dark Horse, I'm going to say Dark Horse is going to be Jordan Anderson. I'm going to still pick Jordan Anderson for the Dark Horse for the Truck Series. For the Cup race, driver to win, Jimmy Johnson. I think Johnson has a good card to possibly win at Kansas because he is a former winner at Kansas in that great battle with him and Carl Edwards in 2008. I'm going to say Kevin Harvick is the Dark Horse. I think you can pick a monkey's nose, Taylor. Hee hee. I'm going to say Kevin Harvick is the Dark Horse because Harvick is also another driver that has won it as a former winner at Kansas. And the driver to stay away from, definitely, I know I'm going to get points on the podcast, but stay away from Greg Goldig. So, yeah. For the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, driver to win, I'm going to say Sebastian Bourdais. Driver that is the Dark Horse is going to be Simon Pagenaud. And I'm going to say, driver to stay away from, no you didn't, Taylor. Driver to stay away from, I'm going to say, Ryan Hunter-Reay is the driver to stay away from, I'll pick. And then finally for the F1 race at Spain, driver to win. He won this race in his first race with Red Bull. I think he's going to do it again. Max Verstappen, I think he's going to win that race. I'm going to say the driver to stay away from, I'm going to say Sergei Sorokin. I think he's not raced at Spain, and of course he came off bad result in Azerbaijan. I think that could carry over to him going into the first European race of 2018 for F1. The Dark Horse, I'm going to say, you better not put monkeys in my teal room. Well, we can't have monkeys in the mansion, so yeah. Dark Horse in F1, I'm going to say Esteban Ocon. So, yeah. So, but, yeah. On Facebook, I'll explain the situation with what happened this weekend. I'll explain more about that, so yeah. But anyway, that is going to do it for this week's edition of PCSRA Weekly, the final edition for April of 2018. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you guys enjoyed the show, be sure to give this video a like. If this is the first time you come across my channel and you love my wonderful content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I really do appreciate that. Want to thank everybody in the chat for joining me for this edition of PCSRA Weekly. In 2 weeks, we'll recap Dover, we'll recap Kansas, Spain, and the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. We'll look ahead. Robots, we have monkeys in the mansion. Oh boy. We'll look ahead to the All-Star race for the Indy or for NASCAR, along with the Truck Series at Charlotte and all that. So yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching, and until then, I have been Daniel Willis signing off, and I will see you guys later today with episode number 90 with host Elijah Gordon for episode 90 of the Arrow Way podcast. See you guys.